In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good evening everybody and welcome to this solo Sunday surgery with myself, Stevo. I've got the WWE Royal Rumble on in front of me from 2008. I've got my team in front of me from 2020. The first time this year, this season, I seem to have got a captaincy right for once. And yeah, what an extraordinary end to the game week. Quite emphatic, really. If you didn't see it, this is what happened. If we bring up on Twitter, look at Jason's face. The moment Salah scored. The moment Salah scored. Look at Jason's face. Quite extraordinary. I wonder if the sound will work on this. I don't know if it'll work. I have no idea if this is working or not, but Jason's face is quite exceptional. When it comes up now...
Oh, wait a minute. What's staring him for? He's done a Danny Ings and taken his shirt off. What an idiot.
Look at it.
So that's a goal bonus. I don't think it's offside. I think it was in his own
Everybody gifts me. This is a gift. That is stunning, Jason, and that is a moment. That is an absolute moment. Here's the moment that Mo Salah scored. Here we are. May as well get it up full screen. There's me just absolutely finally celebrating a Salah captaincy pick, a captaincy that went right. It's quite incredible. Finally, something going blimey. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, and it's some relief is the word I'm looking for, to be honest with you, because this this particular game week has been, well, it's been awful. Let's be honest here. We all know Jason's story regarding getting rid of Aguero. We then, of course, know my story that I've got in Salah and captained him. Although I did have Trent Alexander-Arnold, but we're not going to bang on about that. And yeah, it's been quite an absolute extraordinary circumstance, to be honest with you. Absolutely extraordinary. Really? You can hardly hear me? You sure about that? Let me turn it up a bit more then. Is that okay? Because I'm a bit concerned that my my sound is basically it's rubbish. My sound is really, really bad. So I don't know why my sound is so poor, but whatever. So yeah, just quite an extraordinary, and thanks to James Bang, Paulie, and Lewis Kirkby for, well, basically keeping me company through that particular game, being the correspondence for that particular fixture, Liverpool versus Man United. We all know how well Liverpool did in that game. Let's be realistic here. They should have won that. Realistically, I think 3-0 would have been a very good result if it ended 3-0. 4-0 would have been a perfectly good result. I think we all know who got the returns in that particular game, but let's just remind everybody specifically what actually happened in the Liverpool versus United game. Of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold getting an assist by, of course, crossing into Van Dijk. And Alisson launching the ball forward, Salah latching onto it. The bonus points coming through, Van Dijk with 3, Alisson with 2, Alexander-Arnold with 1. Of course, there was a game earlier in the day, where we had Burnley winning 2-1. Absolutely brilliant result for us. We're now 5 points clear of relegation zone. It's an absolute confidence booster. It's such a shame we've got United up next, but the points are the points. But what does it say about Leicester? 2 games in a row now losing to non-top 6 teams. 2-1 apiece. It's not good enough losing to us. Southampton beforehand. Is it time to get rid of Leicester assets? Obviously, I know Vardy missed a penalty, but yeah, just not good enough. Are people rage transferring him out? I saw that can't remember who it was. I think it was Hassan that's already done it. But it was Chris Wood and Westwood getting the goals. Ben Mee with an assist. I mean, ironically, Ben Mee has been performing really, really bad for us. From a defensive point of view, it's awful defending from him for the last few games. Maybe Dice should drop him. Who knows? But he won't, because he likes to keep faith. But certainly Ben Mee has been... he has been our weak link, I think. And Harvey Barnes and Pratt getting the goal and assist. But it was Pope, Westwood and Wood that got the bonus points for Burnley there. 3, 2 and 1 respectively. But of course, it's the Sunday surgery. Myself and Jason usually look at everybody's teams, but let's get people on. Let's get people live on air. Let's talk about this particular weekend. If you want to join me live, just get into the waiting room. More than happy to take your calls. Let's just quickly say hello to some of the people that have joined us. Our man Dylan, good evening. More than welcome to join me live on air. Tell us about your extraordinary season so far. Sultan Saeed, FPL Anderson, Lewis Kirby's back, Zimmy, Alpine FPL. I haven't seen your name for a very long time. FPL Booner making a point, good evening. Another extremely mediocre game week. But happens, what can you do? On to the next week. Well done to all Aguero owners and commiserations to Vardy captains. Don't lose faith. You don't mean that. You don't mean that. They're all your rivals. Francis Logan saying there's so many injuries to big time players. Who? I can only think of 2. Sarr and Rashford. Peter S is here. Manchester Reds, Paulie, Biggish Shoes is here. Resting Pilgrim. It's still bad, the mic. Jason's here. The volume's still low. Can't be that low. The volume can't be that low, for crying out loud. I mean, in Flaming Hour, earlier on, I was over there and everybody could hear me. Yeah, it's been a very a peculiar game week, to be honest with you, and I of course am very happy with the Salah captaincy. I've already made the point that I don't think what happened particularly today will change my mind when it comes to captaincy for the double game week. I'll be leaving it on Trent Alexander-Arnold, as discussed with the guys earlier on. I just think that I'm more confident with having the captaincy on a player who plays in a team that just don't concede goals, but are only just scoring. You know, the last few games haven't exactly been goals galore, so to speak. It's been 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 1-0. Yes, they had 4-0 there. 2-0, 3-0. I just feel more confident. In fact, when we were going through the average scores for the 3 players I particularly own, it's really a toss-up between Mane and Trent Alexander-Arnold for the players that I own. And I think that going with Trent Alexander-Arnold, it's going to be one of those where I think it's going to be an easy decision for me going with Trent. Volshek, Frasak saying that Trent triple captain. I don't think I'm gonna be, triple captaining anybody in this particular game week. I know that there's various other people that are going to be doing it. I know Daily Llama, for example, is going to be triple captaining Trent. I think I'm predicting that he'll get a clean sheet and an assist in those particular I think that he's going to get a minimum of a clean sheet and an assist personally, but I'm not expecting goals galore. I mean, me and Jason are actually going to be doing the preview tomorrow when we predict our scores. And again, the only thing I seem to do well at is predicting games. And I asked the guys earlier on what they thought, and James Bang predicted pretty much exactly what I'm predicting, which is I think that Liverpool, they're gonna, I don't know why, I think they're gonna concede to Wolves. I think they're gonna edge past Wolves 2-1, and then when it comes to West Ham, I think Liverpool will win 2 or 3-0. And like I said, across those two games, I do expect Trent to get a minimum of an assist and a clean sheet, I'd like to think. Of course, Salah, Mane could easily score all the goals in those particular games. But I really do think the safety net is on, is on a defender. I think that going with 2 defenders and an attacker is probably, in my opinion, the best route, to be honest with you. Yeah, I made this point earlier on, Tobias. Just a thought, but Liverpool's won the league. Do you think that we could see some rotation? I think that until they're mathematically clear, I think Klopp is going to continue playing a strong team. Although I do think that they're going to win the Champions League. I think they're going to be putting all eggs into 2 baskets, and I think they're going to be going for the Champions League. And I did say earlier on that I think they're going to win the Champions League as well, and I think they're going to go for the double. Paulie, of course, we had the news earlier that Rashford is going to be out for a considerable amount of time. Now, let me just bring up this post here that FPL Mechanic sent in earlier, where, and I'm hoping this works, and I bet it won't, but basically it was about Rashford and the fact that, no, it won't work. Well, there it is there. The tweet is there. But Rashford will be out to 2 to 3 months. Well, Paulie confirming that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has come out and actually said that during his interview he's going to be out for a minimum of 6 weeks. So the question is it worth bringing in Greenwood? And there we are. FPL Boona, straight away. Greenwood surely has to become nailed with the news. Would you start Greenwood over Mopai? Well, I've already said it on stream. Said it earlier. I'm actually thinking of getting rid of Ings away at... Who the hell is that? Sorry, I've got the Royal Rumble. Snitsy. Who the hell is Snitsy? What a freak. If there's any WWE fans out there, specifically from the 2008 Royal Rumble, if you're going to let me know who Snitsy is, I mean, what on earth? Ha! Anyway, so yeah, I think that Greenwood is definitely worth a start. Man United are going to win 2-0, maybe even 3-0. You'd like to think that Greenwood would be given a start, but these comments by Solskjaer, you know, saying that he just doesn't think he's ready enough to be playing on a regular basis suggests to me that it could be a risk, but could it be a risk worth taking? That's the question, and I think it could be. I really do think it could be a risk worth taking. And yeah, Charlie making the point that Mopay, and that's the reason why I wouldn't get rid of Mopay, is because Mopay has Bournemouth, and Bournemouth, of course, are the bunch of clowns. They can't defend. along with Aston Villa, along with Norwich, ironically, along with Burnley as well. To 4 terrible teams. Certainly Bournemouth. Although I was very disappointed with the result yesterday. Only Norwich winning 1-0. I think I went 1-1 ironically, but after seeing what I saw, Norwich should be taking advantage of this and just going for it now. They've got nothing to lose. They're virtually relegated. Not mathematically, but, whatever. I mean, FPL Fozzie making a point about Greenwood, I'm assuming. He's still nick a few goals here or there. But is it worth getting rid of a player that's guaranteed 90 minutes to bring in somebody that won't be playing, will only be playing for 20 minutes? I don't know. That's what this game is all about. John Engelbrett, blimey, some names coming out the woodwork here I haven't seen for months. What's going on? You all captain Salah and Aguero? John straight away asking the question, will Greenwood start? Well, that's the question on everybody's lips. And then I'm telling you now, if Solskjaer comes out and says that Greenwood is guaranteed to start, if he says he's going to start, I think I will do that transfer. I think I will bring in Greenwood for Danny Ings. If you want to come live on air and discuss all this, by all means, because I'd rather be talking to people rather than speaking myself. But it's been a very strange game. Let's just do a quick reflection over what actually happened. I'll just quickly, obviously my team's up on screen right now. That's not from this particular game week, that's the next game week, but here's my team. 50 points. There we are. The main point scorers there. Holgate, Alexander-Arnold, Salah captain, and that's it. Mopay with an assist. It could have been so much better if I'd have just left my team from the stream on Friday evening. If I'd have just kept Calvert-Lewin. If I'd have just kept captain on Alexander-Arnold. Things would have been so much sweeter. Unfortunately not. But these things happen, I'm afraid. And yeah. I'm probably down by about 15 points or something like that. Unfortunately, but what can I do? There's nothing I can do, I'm afraid. No, Grekla making the point here. Hope Mahrez doesn't get benched. Well, he didn't play yesterday, and I believe aren't they away next match? Am I right in thinking that Mahrez seems to play every single away game? Unless I'm completely going mad. I agree. In fact, FPL Fozzie reminding me, another consideration of transfers I was making was Maddison and Vardy out. This would be for 2 free transfers. Maddison and Vardy out. Get in Aguero. Yep, I'm chasing points. Why not? Let's chase the point, shall we? I don't know how much money that leaves me. 5.5. So let's just get rid of Soyuncu. That leaves me with 10.4. I wonder if I could bring in Grealish. Just of pure interest. Let's just see if Grealish fits in there. How much money do I have left then? 0.1 out of getting... What's his name off Tottenham? Tangaya? Whatever his name is. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. There's a consideration for you. There is a consideration for you. But unfortunately, Tanganga. Thank you, Boona. Grekla making the point. That's what he's doing next week. Nice. Ultras Worldwide is saying double Liverpool defence or attack. Oh, it's got to be defence. It's got to be double Liverpool defence, I think. I think that should be the case. FPL Fozzie making the point. Just do Maddison to Grealish and save a transfer. Well, interestingly enough, Grealish has a pattern I love my patterns. And the simple pattern is this. And it's not good for this particular upcoming game week. It's the usual story. He returns, blanks, returns, blanks, returns. So you know what's going to happen. He's going to blank at home to Watford. And Watford, we all know, is not an easy fixture right now. In fact, Watford are probably one of the best teams in the division behind Liverpool. So, Ultras Worldwide is saying about, I'm going to go Van Dijk, for Simpson and Mopé for Vardy. What do you think? I mean, getting in Van Dijk, yeah. Although, West Ham at the moment, don't know. James asking, Jimenez and Maddison out for Greenwood and Mane. The fact that he's got a double game week. Yeah, go for it. Why not? I'm not a tipster. I can. It's just an opinion. I think Paulie, he's saying about bringing in Van Dijk for this particular game week for Simpson. Oh, Vince Chapman, come live on air. Talk live on air. Get on air. Someone come on air with me. Speak to the nation. The whole of the 20 people that are watching this, speak. That's what I say. Come live on air, because I don't particularly want to be going on long this evening. Very rare, actually, of course, for me to be doing the, the Sunday. In fact, it's very rare for me doing Sunday surgery, to be honest with you. Let's just reflect on what happened yesterday. Of course, Watford 0, Spurs 0. Gazzaniga with the penalty save. Incredible. Unfortunate for people like James Bang, who sadly got rid of Gazzaniga to bring in, I forget who he was trying to fund to bring in, but he was doing that to fund someone, and that's completely backfired. Arsenal 1, Sheffield United 1. Again, Sheffield United keeping up their away record. They just cannot seem to lose. Arsenal continuing their, let's be honest here, their poor home record. Brighton 1, Aston Villa 1. Two relegation rivals, of course, ends in a draw. We then have Man City Crystal Palace. Oh, anybody recognise this guy? Mick Foley, blimey. In his Cactus Jack outfit as well. Yeah, Man City 2, the shot result yesterday. 2-2 with Crystal Palace. Quite a few Sterling captain blankers. Mainly in our Cash Mini League. And of course, Norwich 1-0 versus Bournemouth. Pookie getting the goal there. Southampton dropping points against Wolves. Southampton in very, very good form at the moment. And unfortunately, they went and lost 3-2 to Wolves. Jimenez getting a brace. The famous story from Charlie, where of course he got rid of Jimenez yesterday. The first time he actually got a brace. I think Lewis Kirkby got rid of Jimenez as well. West Ham 1, Everton 1. Yeah, dire game. Along with the following game, Newcastle beating Chelsea 1-0. I believe it was Hayden with the goal. Yeah. I think Paulie was saying that it was a corner. Sent Max in with the corner. And he got the goal. So, last minute goal. Chelsea losing. And really, the top four, if I was to look at it in a second, looking extremely tight. I mean, I'll quickly check specifically what the points is. I mean, obviously Liverpool is gone, but certainly the other three places. I mean, let the Man City take it as read that they're going to be in the top 4, and I mean, Chelsea still hanging in there above Man United, 5 points. The same difference over Wolves. Sheffield United only 6 points behind Chelsea now. Leicester still wait. So Leicester have. Let's be honest here. They've got a Champions League spot. Leicester will get that Champions League, although they are slipping away. Tottenham are going to miss. Well, I believe are going to miss out on the Champions League places. Probably the Europa League as well. Wolves and Sheffield United look like the most consistent teams in there. And then, of course, the relegation. We were discussing it earlier on, who we think are going to be relegated. If we're going to take it as read that Norwich are gone. Bournemouth, I think, are gone. They've completely lost the plot. So I'd avoid them like the plague. In fact, really, it's one of those where, wow, Mabel. That is incredible. And Shawn Michaels has just eliminated The Undertaker. And Mr. Anderson's just eliminated Shawn Michaels. Gone. Like I said, this is more entertaining than this stream. But, yeah, I think that if anybody's playing Bournemouth and Norwich, certainly bringing a player versus them. Yeah. That is incredible. Mabel. That is incredible. It's a shame I can't actually turn the camera to show what he looks like. Forgot about that. Anyway, but certainly Aston Villa, they're another team. They just seem to be... 1 minute they get a decent result, then they lose. Get a decent result, then they... I mean, their pattern, lose, win, draw. So they're probably going to lose against Watford, but that wouldn't surprise me because Watford, win, draw, win, draw. They're doing so well at the moment. West Ham, I think, will just stay up. Brighton are safe. Us, Burnley, I think really it's going to be down to Burnley and Aston Villa. That's my two, really. And at the moment, obviously, we've got the advantage being 5 points clear of Villa at the moment, thankfully. But yeah, it's crazy to think that we are hoping to stay up for I think this will be the 5th season. Steve-O, Chelsea went 86 Premier League games unbeaten in the league. Liverpool are currently at 51. For Liverpool to beat Chelsea's record, they have to go unbeaten at Anfield until at least 2022. Oh, is that, Paulie, just to confirm, do you mean that Chelsea were unbeaten at home for 86 games? You could just clarify that. Very interesting. Sup 70. No, you can't. You can't wildcard and triple captain at the same time. You can only use your triple. You can only use one chip at a time. James asking, any West Ham players for the double? Do not bring in any West Ham players. However, if you already own Fabianski, well, I suppose that Fabianski's out, isn't he? So, yeah, I'd avoid like the plague. Sean Richardson, I'm going to drop Rashford for someone this week on a 2-week punt and then use wildcard to get Aguero in. Well, I can't think off the top of my head, but certainly a very, very good idea indeed, considering the fact obviously Rashford is out. It's a question of who to bring in. No idea. James Carson asking, thoughts on triple captaining Salah or Mane? I personally, this is just my opinion. I honestly don't see the point in triple captaining this particular game week. I personally don't see the point in it, only because everybody's going to be captaining one of the same player, whether it's Trent, Salah or Mane. I think the popular captain pick this week, like on various sites, polls, etc. I think the popular captaincy pick will be Salah because he scored today, and Mane's been a bit out of form. However, if you are to triple captain, I honestly think putting it on a Liverpool defender, and I truly mean that. If you are wanting to use a triple captaincy this upcoming game week, I personally think getting it on a defender is probably your best bet. That's what I think. I think that's the best advice I can particularly give, but I'm not wanting to use the triple captaincy myself this particular game week. Yeah, Sean Richardson, I'm considering Greenwood in for Rashford because I think he will start versus Burnley. Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I am thinking. Show me the Mane saying Wolves and West Ham will score. Steve, I'm telling you now. Well, all I will say is that Liverpool at the moment don't even look like they're going to concede a goal for the rest of the season. I just think they've put the fear factor into everybody now, and West Ham aren't going to set up to try and score any goals. Wolves, I do think Wolves will score against them, but I do think that West Ham will keep a clean. They'll keep a clean sheet. Yeah, Sean making the point there. The problem with captaining a defender is one goal and you're screwed. Agreed, but this is again the fact that this is Liverpool we're talking about here. We're not talking about, say, Leighton Baines of Everton, where there's a high chance of them particularly. Blimey, we've got FPL royalty here, or Elite FPL Cash Mini League royalty here. Pay to pie. Is that you, the guy that's in our Cash Mini League? Probably not. Probably completely mistaken you, but yeah, I agree with that point there. Yeah, John Engelbert making the point about 7 clean sheets in a row. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, right, okay. Thank you, Paulie, for clarifying that point there about Liverpool to beat Chelsea's unbeaten run at home. They need to win all 7 remaining home games this season, then all 19 games in 2020, 2021, and then 10 games. That's mental. That's crazy. Guna, good evening there. Agreed. Uncle Juicy TV making the point that he's going to captain Trent as well, and because we just need the points. End of discussion. Well, we'll finally get on our first caller of the evening. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you can all hear myself and Lewis Kirkby. More importantly, will Lewis be able to hear me? That is the question. Cover your ears, everybody, because I'm going to do the usual line of this. Lewis!
Hello!
Good evening, Lewis.
Hello, good evening.
For anybody that doesn't understand that joke, and I'm sure Lewis doesn't even understand the joke, is actually I'm copying it from Talk Sport, where my favourite presenter always refers to anybody called Lewis by screaming their name. It's hilarious. Anyway... Lewis, you were on with me earlier on. I know you've posted your team and the team screenshots. The game week has now ended. Let's be honest here, you're just looking forward to this particular game week.
Yeah, this game week's just there's nothing to talk about really. It's just absolutely terrible for me, to be honest.
Well, let's get on with, let's be honest. Let's get on with the next game week, shall we? I've got your team up on screen, and I straight away see it. Captaining Salah. Now, you got, just to tell the audience, you got rid of Sterling for Salah, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And obviously you're happy with that particular move. I see you're starting Greenwood as well.
Yeah.
Now, I know we were discussing before, but for anybody that's new listening to this right now, you think Greenwood's going to start?
Do, because I think he's going to take Dan James's spot. Dan James is going to go on the left, and Martial's going to play up top. That's how I think it's going to happen. But obviously, it seems he's not in favour with all. To be honest, obviously, I thought we were going to start the Liverpool game, but I can see why, because it is away at Anfield, and it might be a bit too much for him. He's still a young lad. But at home to Burnley, I think he's definitely got a good chance of starting. That's why I'm starting him. But to be honest, I'm just a bit stuck with my midfield. I want Jose Perez out for a hit this game week. I've got 3.1 mil in the bank. Just not sure what to do.
Well, I mean, you are. What rank are you now? Sorry.
Obviously, as you know, it's 18.
Sorry, we've got royalty. We've got royalty. It's John Cena. He's here. Jesus. He's back. He's returned. Sorry, Lewis, you were saying about what rank you were at.
Obviously, as you know, I was 18k and I've dropped to 44k now.
It's gone down
from
to
that game week.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Pretty.
Wow. Tell us, how do you feel dropping that far? How many points are you off? I asked you this earlier on, but how many points are you off from 18,000th now? Is it still in like 5 or 6?
I think it's a lot. Obviously, on live FPL, it says points away from top 10k. I'm 33 points away now. I was about...
What, from 18,000?
Okay, I'm 33 points off top 10k.
So, right, okay. But how much are you off from the 18,000th mark? Do you know? Would you have a clue? I'm guessing about, say, 20-ish.
20, yeah, about that.
It's incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Obviously, we've had time to reflect. Well, we've had about an hour and a half or so. We can now reflect on what's actually happened this particular Sunday afternoon. And has the fact that Salah... Right, let's be honest here. If Salah hadn't scored, but it was Mane, would you still be captaining Salah?
Oh. I want to be captaining Mane or Trent. But I think Salah's got so much confidence and momentum now because of that. You've seen how he celebrated, shirt off, winning down. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's probably going to change, to be honest. I probably will end up going with Mane. But right now, my current thoughts are going with Salah. But James Bang made a point to me before. He said, obviously, Mane is blank for the last 2 game weeks. And Salah's done well recently. So he said Mane's not going to blank 4 in a row, but Salah has potential to blank for the next 2, if you know what I mean. That's what he said to me, and it's swayed my decision a little bit towards Mane.
And I'll just quickly ask you this one question because I don't want to lose it. Just to get your thoughts on this statement by Dillagaff to you. The longer managers keep Aguero out of their team, the further they will drop rank. Your thoughts on that?
It's a bold statement, to be fair, but it could be a correct one because obviously we all know the form that Aguero's in now. Really, it's about how you get Aguero into your team, not if you get him or if you don't get him. It's about how you get him. Because you pretty much have to dissect your entire team to get him in unless you get Vardy out, which in my opinion is a lot more dangerous than going without Aguero, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So he's not essential yet. I don't think we'll keep going down the longer we don't get him in. He's definitely not essential. His ownership's not high enough yet to affect your rank that much. But definitely could keep performing, and I'm looking at getting him in, but I've not really got a good way to get him in, to be honest. So I think I'm just going to do without for now. And of course, rotation's a big issue as well. You never know what Pep's going to do.
Yeah, we were discussing earlier on how Pep is going to approach the Leicester game, for example, the just before the Real Madrid match, and I do think that Pep is now going to be fully concentrating on. I mean, well, actually, I'll ask you: do you think that Pep is going to be more concentrating on the Champions League now?
How far are they into the top four?
Oh, they're miles ahead. They are.
It'll be clear, yeah. So it probably 100% it'll rotate, but I don't think it'll rotate players like De Bruyne and things like that. I think they're too essential to rotate. Obviously, as of now, the title race, I think it's done. But that same mentality, you know what I mean? He could have the mentality to get back into it,
yeah,
like he did last season.
Yeah, certainly. Of course, Pep does have the attitude regarding he doesn't want to let standards slip. He never wants to lose matches. In answer to your question, I mean they're 14 points clear of fifth, Manchester United. So there's no chance of them dropping out of the top four, full stop. But I really do think that Man City are going to just concentrate on the Champions League, and I just think that it's going to be tough getting it to grow. But FPL Booner asking the question, Steve, would you start Greenwood over Mopay, or is that trying to be too clever? I'll ask you, Lewis. Would you start Greenwood over Mopay? Mopay away at Bournemouth.
It's a difficult one. It really is. But personally, I wouldn't make a decision on that until maybe you get an inclination that Greenwood is starting or he isn't starting. I don't rate Mopai as an asset. I said it in the stream before. I don't think he's clinical enough. I just don't really. I don't rate him. But obviously, we know how bad Bournemouth have been defensively. It's definitely room for returns. But I said this last stream as well. I think Bournemouth it's do or die for them now, and I think they all know that. And whether they're gonna get a little bit of a resurgence or not is another thing. But they have to win this game. They have to win this game, the next one, and pretty much the one after that as well. So maybe that'll affect the mentality, and maybe they'll come out swinging.
Well, I've actually got a rival in my in the chat at the moment. Netherwin FPL. I've got you in the Champions League this particular game week, Steve. I don't know who the lad is. Again, I apologise, but I don't recognise the name who I've got in the Champions League this particular game week. I forget who it was, but fantastic. Yeah, that's something that we're all looking forward to. I know that I put out a members video the other day for anybody listening regarding what people want from myself and Jason regarding membership, exclusivity, etc., etc. But the main, it was great feedback. I just want to say thank you to a lot of you guys for giving myself the feedback, because it was me that did the video, obviously, but obviously representing Jason as well. But the feedback that we got predominantly was about discussing the Champions League. So I'll be contacting Llama at some point to see if he can potentially do a pod, just like a mini pod, going over the Champions League. Really the highlights of the particular game weeks, some of the big shocks. But where was I going here? FPL Boone, of course, talking about the hoping that the team news comes out for Mopay. I mean, you've heard what Lewis has said. I think start Greenwood, Booner, to be honest with you. I think they'll definitely win. I certainly think that Man United are going to win quite comfortably, 2-0 versus Burnley. it's the usual scoreline versus us, and I'd like to think that Greenwood will get in the returns and maybe put. Right. There we are. Netherwin FPL. His actual name is. Here we are. This is going to butcher your name. It's Kajetil Heighton. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. He is my next head-to-head opponent. All I'll ask you, Kajeti, is where's your overall rank? Because I'm doing awfully this season, so congratulations. And talking of congratulations, this young man here, the main man himself, he won. Of course he did. It's John Cena at the end of the day. He won. We will both be rocking Salah and Mane. Let's see if a captain different one. Well, I've already told you. I've already told you what I'm doing. I'm Captain Trent Alexander-Arnold. Tobias, it's on YouTube, so the WWE are basically promoting Royal Rumble season, and I think they're giving away every single Royal Rumble that's been on since God knows when, just to get you interested in the Royal Rumble this year. Not that I care about any of it whatsoever, but that was 2008 Royal Rumble. I may just put on another Royal Rumble for a bit of a laugh, really. But yeah, WWE are actually releasing these matches on YouTube. So there we are. The 2017 Royal Rumble match, but that was awful. I don't want to be watching that. I'll try and find another one if I can be bothered. But well, moving forward though, Lewis, once this double game week's finished, you've actually said that Liverpool assets is something that you are confident in.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely keeping all three moving forward. Whether that changes or not depends on obviously the form of Mane and Salah. I think Trent I'm just going to keep regardless. I think he's a season keeper for me now. I've had him in all season, to be fair, but I think now he's definitely staying all season.
Yeah, I completely agree with you here, and everybody were pleased to know that I've got the game on. Well, the highlights of the Liverpool match. Here's the straight away. There we are, Virgil van Dijk getting the goal there, and I'll bring up obviously once the Salah goal pops up, I'll reveal that. I mean, what a moment, Lewis, that you were part of on the stream when Salah got that goal.
Yeah. I mean, not good for me, but obviously it's a bit better for some people.
I'm just seeing the Firmino.
I think for you, Steve,
yeah, go
vision,
yeah.
But the Southampton manager, Hassan Huttle, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
He said Ings is going to be rested. I'm
Did he actually
not sure
say
he
he's
was
gonna be
talking about this. Yeah, he said Danny Ings can't play every match. That's what he said last game week, just before last game week. So if you are planning on getting him out for Greenwood,
still
then
in
that
the FA Cup? Lewis, are they still in the FA Cup?
what? Sorry.
Are Southampton still in the FA Cup?
You might just cutting up a little bit.
Here we go again. For about an hour we've been talking fine, and then all of a sudden nothing's working. I was just saying, are Southampton still in the FA Cup?
Still in the FA Cup?
Yeah, are Southampton still in it?
I don't know, to be honest.
I'm sure.
I don't think they are. I think they lost to like a lower league side.
Brilliant. Because if they are still in the FA Cup, if they are still in the FA Cup, you'd think that blimey. How did Martial miss that?
They play Spurs.
I've just seen
on
that
the
Martial
25th of January.
Lewis. Can you hear me, Lewis? He's completely gone. Well, let's remess. Here we are.
There we go. I can, he's cutting out, mate.
And there's Mo Salah. Yes, they are still in the FA Cup, Lewis. They are. They're against Spurs.
Yeah, I just checked then. If you could hear me.
Yeah.
They played Spurs on the 26th.
Yeah. So you would think that they will. Well, you'd like to think that Ings would probably, let's be honest here, be rested for that game.
This game week and then play the FA Cup.
Oh, you reckon? I would have thought the Premier League would be more important.
Possibly, but I think they know they're out of relegation now, and they're not really fighting for it. There's not much left in the league to really battle for. I mean, they're not pushing for Europa League, Champions League, or anything, are they? Really? I think they might prioritise the FA Cup.
You don't think they're still you don't think that they're going to be fighting that relegation? You think that they're thinking they're safe?
Cut out of it again, but I know what you said anyway. Yeah, I think they're completely fine now. I don't think they're going to be near relegation. Where are they in the table? They're like 14th, aren't they now?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, they're not.
I think they're fine, to be honest. They're not struggling with any injuries or anything, whereas a lot of other teams are. The 13th, yeah, I think they're fine, to be honest.
If we were to find out Ings is definitely not going to be playing, would it be wise to be bringing in Greenwood? Do you reckon?
Yeah, if it's for free, then
for free, yeah,
possibly. Yeah.
What about?
I don't know. Like I said before, I think I'd wait till you 100% know whether Greenwood's. Well, you'll never really 100% know, obviously, but you've got some. He's going to be benched or he's starting, because there is a lot of other options, like for Ings' price and below.
Well, I'm thinking.
I was looking at the new Crystal Palace signing.
Oh,
Tosun.
Oh yeah.
He did really well. He looked unreal against City. He could have had a hat-trick, to be fair. He had a disallowed goal and he had a couple of other good chances. And he's really good for Turkey as well. I'm pretty sure he was Turkey's top scorer in the Euro qualifiers. So he's no slouch of a player, and he's 5.7 mil.
He's 5.7, is he? And you think he could do very well? What, specifically against Southampton or just in general?
I mean, Crystal Palace have got a really good run coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's quickly check
Crystal
Palace, shall we?
Yeah, they do. Up until Gameweek 30, they've got a favourable run.
Oh, Southampton, Sheffield United, Everton, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Brighton, Watford. Yeah, you're right. Wow. Such a shame that, in my case, that Henderson's 4.8. Very, very frustrating indeed. I mean, you've just mentioned Tosun there. Is he worth the punt, though? That's the question. Is Tosun worth the punt?
I think he's worth a punt. He's a massive differential. I think he is worth a punt. In your case, obviously, you've got a free transfer. You don't really have any fires in your team that you have to put out. You don't really, you know what I mean. You don't have any players that you're looking to 100% get out. You could definitely look to get Tosun as your replacement for Ings, but I don't think it'd be permanent if you get Ings out, because I think he will continue form.
Good evening, Charlie. You join us.
Evening, Steve. How you doing? All right, Lewis.
Right, mate.
Lewis is talking about as a 1 week punt, maybe even moving forward for the next few weeks. Tosun of Crystal Palace. Your thoughts on that?
Possibly. You never know. He obviously scored that goal against City, and yeah, he could do well. To be honest with you, obviously they got a lot of injuries, so he's going to play with Ayew and Zaha and yeah, possibly could be a good option. Who knows?
So, I've got your team up on screen at the moment,
Yep.
and unlike Lewis,
Yep.
you're going the opposite way. You're going with Mane.
Yeah, currently, he's Mane. Obviously, he hasn't scored for a few weeks, but he's a class player, and he's got a decent. I know I said this about Sterling the other day, but he's got a decent record against both teams. And I think they keep on scoring. I think maybe 2 or 3 goals against West Ham and Wolves. I think Wolves is going to be obviously a lot tougher game. Obviously, Wolves do quite well at home against the big boys. So I think obviously there's still going to be goals. But yeah, I've got Mane at the moment. Probably stick with him. I'm not going with defenders. Captain.
I'm assuming.
I'm not gonna lie.
Go for it, Lewis.
I was just gonna say I'm probably gonna join you and captain Mane, but my mind's gonna change a lot up until the deadline.
Yeah.
You're not now getting rid of Sarr then? You're just going to go with a 4-3-3, I'm assuming, Charlie, because obviously you said yesterday about Sarr that you were considering getting him gone, but now it's just a case of you're just going to bench him and play a 4-3-3?
I was thinking because I thought obviously straight after he's got injured, like it's a hamstring as well. On FPL they said it's a muscle injury. So yeah, I think it'll probably be out for 3 weeks to a month. I would have thought. But yeah, either 4-3-3 or maybe I might get in Trossard, because Brighton's got good fixtures, and when Trossard plays, the Brighton do better, and obviously he scored at the weekend. And they got some good fixtures coming up as well. So maybe getting Trossard, but I might just stick with a 4-3-3. I'm not sure.
Obviously, we've had the game week finish now. We are going to be moving on to game week 24 very, very quickly. Your team's up on screen at the moment. With hindsight now, how do you feel this game week's gone?
Well, obviously, gutted about taking, the Jimenez out and then him getting 2 goals. Obviously, I brought in Danny Ings, so that's annoying.
Tell anybody that doesn't know what specifically you did.
Obviously I had Sterling captain, that failed miserably. And yeah, I thought Wolves wouldn't get anything out of that game, and yeah, I just took him out. I think quite a lot of people done that move as well. Jimenez to Ings, and yeah, completely obviously backfired, but still a good game week overall. I'm still quite happy, even though obviously Jimenez and captain Sterling, but I'm glad I didn't captain Vardy.
I'll ask you to. Tobias is asking, what do we think about doing Sarr to Mahrez, and is Mahrez nailed? What do you think on that?
Charlie, I'll let you start.
Possibly. It's another thing. Obviously, he's been on quality for Mahrez. He's been probably their most consistent player over the last 6-7 weeks. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne. Obviously, Aguero had the 2 good game weeks just gone. But yeah, I think it could be. It's just pet roulette, with so many games coming up. Obviously, Sheffield United ain't the best game as well, especially away from home. Not many teams have, scored goals there, especially the high teams. Liverpool got lucky with a goal, and Arsenal lost there, so it could be a good pick, yeah.
And Lewis, your thoughts on Mahrez in general?
Obviously, we all know he's been on unreal form, but it's all about whether your team's in the position to take that kind of risk and get him in, because he's a massive risk of rotation. He always will be whilst Bernardo Silva and people like that are fit. I've heard as well Sane is going to be back pretty soon, which might hurt his position, because then Sane will be on the left and Sterling will probably go on the right. which I don't even think he'll get a look in if that does happen.
But does Sane
like I
get
said,
straight back in the team though?
Yeah, I think so. I think what Sane is what they need. I think Sterling's not. He's not cutting it on the left. At least not recently. He hasn't been anyway. And I think they want him on the right and they want Sane on the left. That's what they did last season, weren't it? In much the entire season.
You go.
Yeah, it's just like your team structure and whether you've got the money, you've got the transfers to get him in and not hack of rotation every week.
Chelsea Flyer is asking about getting rid of Leicester defence, but I'll take it one step further. Charlie, I think getting rid of a Leicester full stop. Your thoughts?
Yeah, they haven't looked that great, have they? Obviously, I told you the other night when I was on that I got rid of Soyuncu and Madison in my wild card. And at the moment, it's obviously looking good because their defence, poor. Obviously, Evans made the mistake today. I'm not sure about the first goal, but definitely, I wouldn't. Leicester have got West Ham and then another decent one. Then their fixtures go red. I'd personally get rid of Leicester defence. Maybe just keep Vardy, but even Vardy's on poor form. But I think if you take him out, you'd probably regret it. But if you've got 3 players at the moment, I'd just go with one because they're on really poor form.
One of the most one of the young starlets that seems to be coming out at the moment is this Tanganga.
Yeah.
Is he worth the risk, or is it just a case of he's only playing a couple of games and he'll be gone?
I think he'll continue to start. Although he did get ragged about against Watford, absolutely destroyed him quite a few times in that game, and they created a lot of chances from it. Watford, they should have. Spurs got away with that a bit. I think Watford should have won, to be honest.
Yeah.
They don't really have a left back. Spurs. Ben Davies is injured. Danny Rose. I don't know what's up with Danny Rose. I
think it's the contract.
Yeah.
He's still. So I think it'd be off because it's just too injury prone, and I've not got long left on his contract.
It's not good enough anyway, to be fair. But yeah, I think he'll keep his place. Obviously, Mourinho's since him to give him the start in the first place against Liverpool. You don't just play any random player that you think has got no chance against Liverpool.
Well, FPL...
So keep his place for the time being. But it's about whether he's actually going to get any points. Obviously, we know Spurs' defence is a bit shambolic. But with a new signing of Gedson Fernandes, they've actually got a proper CDM over the defence. So they might improve in that regard. Obviously, we've just seen a clean sheet there without Gedson Fernandes playing the full game. So maybe they'll pick up some defensive form.
FPL Booner is making the point here that he got deployed at left back versus obviously Watford, and that's not his position. However, playing right back versus Middlesbrough in the cup, he was far better there. He has now played centre back, right back, and left back, and he's been very, very versatile. So it sounds to me that Mourinho looks like he's going to be keeping faith. Whether it's worth bringing him in or not, I mean, just give me a one-word answer, yes or no. Is he worth bringing in, Charlie?
Yeah, definitely. But I was quickly going to say something. I would rather, even if I was in Booner's point, looking at the past few games, I'd definitely have him in because Tongan has been awful.
Awful, yeah.
And Outer World ain't been looking much better. So yeah, for me.
And it's and you, Lewis, is it a yes or a no?
I can't give you a one-word answer. It'd be no. But if I was to give you a bit of reasoning,
go for it. We're here for conversation. Go for it.
Yeah, I just don't think he's going to get any points. To be fair, I'm not. He is attacking wise, but clean sheets are scarce at Tottenham. To be fair.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Anish has come up with a name which I thought, you know what, and I know, Charlie, you've got a bit of history with him this season. Anish asking, is Delafeu worth a punt as a Rashford replacement this game week? Charlie, obviously Was it you captained him or you just brought him in versus Norwich? I forget.
Yeah, I brought him in for the Norwich game. Yeah.
Friday night, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Friday night. Yeah, I had him in. Yeah,
Remember
for a 12-pointer.
That's right. Yeah. Is it worth bringing him in?
He's been looking. I've seen him against obviously the last few games. So yesterday, I thought he was good. He had some situations which he didn't know what to do with it, or he'd done a bit too much. I think sometimes if he just does it simple, he get more points. But I think it's a good. I can't see why not. You know, with Rashford being out, really cheap, they still got good fixtures for a little bit. So yeah, I can't see why not.
I'm just about. Yes, Lewis.
I was just gonna. Yeah, I think it could be a decent option. I do think there's other options. As I mentioned before, Tosun could be a really good differential. I don't think David Thier is clinical enough. Every time I've watched him, he misses brilliant chances for his team, and obviously he could still get returns, and he has got some returns this season, but he's not very clinical.
Yeah, he needs to be more clinical.
It's really not. He's not a good finisher.
I've been asking a few people. I've got Jason's team up on screen at the moment, and he's actually considering getting rid of Gomez and Sterling and bringing in Mane and whoever. Do you think it's a wasted transfer for a -4, getting rid of basically a Liverpool defender to bring in a Liverpool attacker, or do you think that -4 will be worth it, Charlie?
It could be worth it, especially, Mane can be so explosive as well. It sort of depends who he's going to bring in, to be honest. Because obviously Gomez, he's been so good since, Matip and Lovren have been injured. And I can't see him taking, playing Matip soon because they've been on such good form, 7 clean sheets in a row. But it just depends who he's going to bring in for him.
Blimey, Andrew Fong is here, and apparently he's going top of the mini league. Is that right, Charlie? You're somebody that does the live FPL. Is that right, Andrew Fong?
Yeah, I seen he was. Yeah, I looked on it earlier. Yeah, he's been doing. I think he's really close. He's either just going above or he's, not far behind. He's so close. Yeah, he's been doing really well recently.
And let's just quickly look at his team here, if I can see it. There it is. Yeah, so he's only, he was 4 points or 5 points behind top spot, and now, he's probably going top, I'm assuming, because he had Trent and Salah and Firmino playing today.
Yeah.
Obviously, he captained Aguero yesterday.
Yeah, he had a good week.
Our man Dylan, he should be still here when it looks like. Oh, it's going to be tight. I think.
Yeah, it's getting close.
I think Andrew Fong, you're going to miss out by a point because.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm completely going mad here.
It's super close.
Has Andrew Fong got Salah or Mane? I can't see. He's got. Oh no, he is going top.
He is going top,
Andrew Fong is going top thanks to basically. It's going to be literally by about a point, maybe 2 points. He's going to be top.
Because Juggernaut's had a pretty awful game week. I don't think he had 2 players not playing, Rashford and Richarlison, and Andrew Fong had a quality game week with Aguero captain.
Let's have a look at Juggernaut, shall we? 42 points. Like you said, he didn't have. Oh, blimey! Everything's automate. Blimey, the game's updating quite quickly. He had, I'm assuming, Hayden coming on for him. So yeah, Hayden came on for him, and so did Kelly. So
wow, he had Hayden coming on.
Yeah.
Wow. He was third on my bench, Hayden.
42 points -4, so 38. I know Sultan Saeed. You think we're having a bad game?
Yeah, he had a bad one, didn't he? Yeah, he said.
Me and him had the exact same amount of points. He said.
Yeah.
31. Is that right, Lewis?
31.
Wow.
It's just the captain of Vardy. Charlie, what were you thinking when Vardy missed that? Well, had his penalty saved.
Oh, well, even though I got him, I was buzzing, to be honest, because loads of people captain Vardy.
No.
I was just out on, and I come back and seen it was 1-0. Then he had the penny, and yeah, I was buzzing.
Cheers, Andrew. Really appreciate the sentiment there. Yeah, come on whenever you're available. Obviously, real life, as me and Jason we say, is way more important than obviously this game. But at the moment, you're having an absolute storm, and I'm assuming that actually maybe the overall ranks have actually updated, which I don't know if they have. No, they haven't actually updated yet. Have the overall ranks updated yet?
No, not for
No,
me.
it was just on. I looked on FPL.
Yeah.
It's still the same.
You know,
That's a shame.
live. I've gone up about 16k so far.
Oh wow! What rank would you be then?
43. I was 59.
So you've caught up with Lewis then?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a Sterling captain, and obviously taken out him. I'm not too worried about him and his because I wouldn't have kept him anyway. But it's just the Sterling captain. He was awful. So
Andrew Thong saying that he's just woke up and looked at the scores and he thought Vardy was benched, and then he's just found out that the penalty was saved. Yes, you should have done the match of the day challenge, Andrew.
yeah.
You should have done that instead. I'll show you, for Andrew, for being here, I'll show you the clip of what happened when Salah scored. So this was me when he scored. I'm hoping that I don't know if the sound will come through or not. There we are. Let's just play it again.
And it is. It's a goal. It's on a goal.
It's quality, that was. Especially Jason's face.
Oh,
That was. Oh my god. Top class. That is.
So that was me, but Jason. I mean, this is GIF Central. This is amazing. I don't even know Jason knows that he was doing this. This is real. This is fantastic. Look at Jason's face. Hopefully this works. Look at Jason's eyes. It's the eyes.
Yeah,
Look at that.
He just looks fuming.
Yeah, proper fuming.
It's the eye, isn't it?
Yeah, this should be.
It's like, but he owns Salah. That's what. But it's just it's the fact that I'd captained him. I know it. I can just see by the eyes.
Yeah.
He knew that.
Yeah.
Because I'd captained him, that was it. He was.
Yeah, I was buzzing that he scored.
Absolutely.
Even though I didn't have him this game week, I'm still happy he scored because I want him on form for next few fixtures.
Yeah, I completely agree. What's that? Alex A. Right, okay, Alex A. You can't come on live on air. It doesn't matter. We have got callers on right now, and I know these callers will be enjoying what we see, and I'm sure this will get the Jason GIF out because this is an extraordinary score. Alex A. 49th. I'm assuming as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep, Alexander. Again, I apologise. I'm not going to pronounce your last name, but congratulations. 93 points, lads.
What?
Wow. How? With this game week?
Yeah.
I'm guessing he must have triple captained somebody. Aguero?
No. Okay. Don't
A
look.
quadruple.
Don't look at your screen. Okay. If I say to you that he captained Aguero, who were the other players that got him the points without cheating? I'll give you a few guesses each. So who was his two strikers, for example, that got him points?
Jimenez.
Yeah.
And too soon, probably.
Who?
Not
Toast.
wasted a guess.
No. It was Pookie. Pookie.
Pookie as well.
And-
My
Oh,
God.
do you know what? I was actually considering getting Pookie in this game week instead of Jimenez.
He had
Jimenez still got 4 points, but I was considering it.
he had Grealish, Salah, and Traore.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Which defender, along with Robertson and Soyuncu, did he play? This particular defender got a clean sheet. Somebody that I was looking at yesterday. They've got 3 clean sheets out of the last 6 fixtures. Can you guess maybe who that could be? Without cheating.
Is it a Watford?
So what? Yeah.
It's a Watford defender. Congratulations, Cathcart.
Cathcart,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I had Ben Foster. I was buzzing with him.
Yeah.
That's mad though. 93 points.
Yeah.
This game week, that's a massive green arrow. That is.
That is ridiculous. Yeah, because I seen in Discord he said he wrote a comment on the general saying I had an amazing game week. I didn't know it was that good.
I don't know.
Wow.
Amazing. This game week is like 50 to 60.
That is mad.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's,
But that's just unbelievable.
once again, I will bring up. In response to that, I'm going to deliberately be bringing up Jason's reaction to that. I'm sure if anybody, Charlie, you're quite good with computers here. I'm sure that you'll be able to give this particular imagery of when. So this is for you, Alex A. Jason's just found out that you got 93 points.
He's done a Danny Ings and taken his shirt off. What a-
Solid.
That's a gold bonus.
So,
I don't think it's offside.
Oh.
Jason, that is
Anyway,
wonderful.
I'm not sure what the
So, congratulations to Alex A there for
this
getting
should be
a whopping 93 points. Absolutely stunning. In fact, I'd love to know where that would get him as an overall rank, because you would think, guys, that 93 points would be in at least the top 20,000 point scorers, maybe if not more.
Yeah, maybe if not more, because I think
Definitely more.
the top.
The highest is like
Oh, well,
100 and.
I can tell you. As of yesterday, 2,800th game week.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
I think I'm like 2 millionth.
you throw on Mane, Salah, and Robertson as well, and he has done exceptionally well. He's a Wolves fan, so that explains that. Well, I'm assuming he's a Wolves fan based on the badge.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Oh, do you know him,
From
Charlie? Do you?
Discord. No, I don't know him. I just seen the Wolves badge on his
No,
name. in
up on the
Discord.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's mad though, isn't it?
As of yesterday, 489,000th. But like I said, with the Salah those two alone, Salah and Robertson, very nice differentials. And moving forward, he's got the main man in Aguero.
Yeah,
Jimenez
Aguero,
moving
mind.
forward. He's got the triple up, of course, in Liverpool. So yeah, it is going to be very, very interesting. Charlie, I was asking earlier on to James, Paulie, and Lewis their predictions for the West Ham Liverpool game, and obviously Wolves Liverpool. What are you predicting for those two particular games?
Well, the West Ham game, I think it'd be 3-0. I think a clean sheet. Wolves game, I couldn't tell you. I think that's.
We all pretty much went 2-1.
Like I said, yeah, because Wolves are a really good team at home, and after that win, which will give them a lot of morale because they've been quite poor over the last sort of month. I don't know. It could be Wolves could even win. I wouldn't be surprised if Wolves throw up an upset.
No.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I'm not sure. 2-2.
Do you really think that it's going to be 2-2?
Because if Liverpool could have lost today if it wasn't for Herrera.
Liverpool had 2 goals ruled off
Yeah,
the post
they
3
did
times.
they did have some goals ruled off. but,
Mane, wow, Mane missed unbelievable chances.
There was,
Fred,
yeah.
Martial, Pereira.
I think. Again, I mentioned this on the stream earlier on. I think that what Klopp will be most disappointed with is the fact that his strikers or his attackers aren't putting the ball in the back of the net just to kill teams.
Yeah.
I think that
They should have killed it off.
it's
Really.
almost like they're relying so much on their defence, so to speak, that it's almost like, well, we don't need to score any more than 1, maybe 2, because we're going to keep a clean sheet, but you can't risk it. And like you said, I mean, I saw just a minute ago the Martial shot, which, well, how he missed it, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's awful, awful.
It's terrible. And could you imagine if Liverpool actually went?
Mane's was worse, you know. Did you see Mane's?
Yeah, Mane's was terrible as well.
An assist. Mane's was terrible. Kicked it straight at the Gea when he had pretty much an open.
Yeah.
But
the goal.
I mean, I predicted 2-1 to Liverpool and 2-3-0 to against West Ham. I think that I'd like to think that they'll get at least a minimum of 1 clean sheet. But Daily Lama's going to be triple captain in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Do you think he's mad, or do you think it's a really good decision? Obviously, you were on the stream with us yesterday.
Yeah. Well, fair play to him. It's just like what a lot of people have said. When they can see so easy. Especially West Ham had a really good game against Everton, a lot of chances, and Wolves, they can score against anyone. So fair play to him, but I wouldn't triple captain a defender. It's mad, but fair play to him. And it is Trent Alexander-Arnold, so he could get a massive haul.
He's not a traditional defender, though, is he? To be fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the, I asked this yesterday, and I'll ask it again because, although we are doing the preview tomorrow, but I'll just ask you two. Do you think there's going to be a fixture in Gameweek 23 that will overshadow the 2 Liverpool matches, or do you think no, the Liverpool matches will go as expected, and actually the single game week players, nobody will score as much as the double game weekers, or do you think that there will be a single game week player that could score more? Vardy, for example, maybe a hat-trick versus West Ham.
Yeah, definitely could be an upset like that. To be fair, the problem will be, if you think about it.
Yeah, anything can happen.
Because West Ham away, Wolves away, they're not that good fixtures, you know. I think West Ham are on the up. They're not as bad as people say they are now. I watched a couple of West Ham games. They should be scoring more than they are. If Haller was more clinical, they would have scored 2 or 3 past Sheffield United.
Yeah, and yesterday as well. He missed two sitters yesterday.
Yeah. Well, that's a question that I was.
So they are doing well in creating.
People are asking about Rashford. Who could they replace him with? Maybe a punt in a double game weeker in Allaire, or is that just too much of the risk?
It's a risk, but that could definitely pay off.
Yeah,
I think that Leicester defense is vulnerable now, like very vulnerable without Ndidi.
Definitely.
I think they're West Ham are going to put up a good show against them.
Evening, John Harris. Welcome to this. I say late night stream. It's late night for me. If you want to come live on air, by all means, the forum is open, as I always say. I'll ask it once and I'll ask it again. Are you looking forward to this double game week, Charlie?
Yeah, hopefully it's going to be a decent decent week. I'm just hoping, probably Mane captain.
I saw on
hopefully there's.
I saw on Twitter someone saying that they'd be very disappointed with 100 points this game week. How many points are you looking to be getting in this particular game week?
I'm hoping for. It's hard to say, really. 70, 80.
So
maybe.
Okay. What about you, Lewis?
I've just had a look at my team. It depends if Greenwood starts. If Greenwood starts, and it depends who I get in for Perez. But yeah, I'm thinking 80 or so as well. If my captaincy pays off, that should be what 30 points. Brent's probably gonna get about 11 points, maybe more, 12 points. Salah and Mane are probably both going to do something. So yeah, probably 80 to 90, I'd say, if the captaincy boards well.
What are you actually expecting realistically from either Salah or Mane? So, for example, I'm expecting a clean sheet and an assist from Trent Alexander-Arnold as an example. What would you expect from Mane and Salah, Charlie?
Probably goal and assist each, maybe. Maybe one of them might get 2 goals and the other will get 1. But yeah, something like that.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I think a goal and assist, and certainly I'd like to think a double-digit return would be ideal, really. Vince Chapman asking the simple question here: how many people are thinking of triple captain? How many? Lewis, do you think a lot of people will be using the triple captainship, or do you think that a lot will actually save it for further down the line?
I think pretty much everyone's going to use it. Because someone made a point before. Obviously, the game weeks are like a week apart. They've got a full rest, so there's no risk of rotation. With the form Liverpool are on, that like if you put everything into theory, then this is the best game week to use a triple captain. In theory, because obviously the team's unbeaten. They've got West Ham, who obviously they're vulnerable defensively, and you've got team in great form, and the week games are a week apart with a full rest. So all leans towards using your triple captain.
No, absolutely. I mean, there is one game during this particular game week where essentially it's a local derby. It's Chelsea versus Arsenal. No one even seems to mention this particular game. It is on quite late at night. Surprisingly, it's after 8 o'clock. 8:15. A London derby does seem a bit late, but these games have to take place. Chelsea had a very disappointing result against Newcastle, Charlie. Do you think they're going to get the revenge against Arsenal? Do you think actually Arsenal may actually have a chance against Chelsea? Or do you think it just end like quite a stalemate, 0-0, 1-1?
Depends. I think it's going to be good because you don't know, But obviously Arsenal have been on all right form. Obviously they've picked up more draws than they would have liked. And Chelsea, they've been so inconsistent. They have a good result, then they go and lose like they did this weekend. So I think it's going to be a good game, to be honest. I think it's going to be, 2 sides. It could go either way.
Yeah, that's my thought process. I think that's a very, very. I would probably call it another 1-1 draw, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a draw.
Yeah. Do you think, Lewis, that Spurs will bounce back? Because there's a lot of people that are. There are some people that are maybe considering captaining Son. Do you think that Spurs are going to get their revenge? Did they lose against Norwich or draw or something?
No, they drew.
2-2.
2-2.
Are they going to get their revenge? Do you think it's going to be a high-scoring game, Lewis, or do you think it's just going to be another dire game?
Nah, I think it would definitely high scoring, but at the same time, it depends what sort of what impact the sides have. Like I mentioned before, Gedson Fernandez, they've been missing the CDM really. The core element of that team was missing someone in front of the defense. Just depends what type of impact that has on the team. Obviously, we all know they've been terrible defensively. Like I said before as well. They could, if they see a resurgence defensively, I think they will bounce back, and they will get revenge.
Yeah. For everybody listening, we are going to be doing, myself and Jason are going to be doing a preview show tomorrow evening, which is going to be a lot of fun looking over these particular fixtures. I think I'll call it a night, lads, and everybody watching. I think we've been going on for, I can't believe that, almost an hour and a half. That's absolutely crazy. Really do appreciate you you guys joining me. I take it you'll be watching tomorrow evening.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Fantastic.
You tuned in.
I'll see you all tomorrow.
Yeah,
Cheers.
cheers,
Cheers,
Steve.
Charlie.
Steve. Later, man.
Cheers, Lewis. Thank you, mate. There we are. Thanks to Charlie and Lewis there for joining me for the well, certainly Lewis for joining me for the majority of the show. Really appreciate that. I do want to bring up out of respect the fact that he is a regular contributor to the show. It's Anish's team. He's in the chat at the moment. Fair play to him. He has done pretty well. Admittedly, a blank for Vardy. But Jimenez, Traore, Grealish, Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Aurier, all coming through. It could have been so much different if Vardy had scored that penalty. But thankfully, Nick Pope got me that save. Very, very happy. And of course, we went out and won 2-1, which was, well, fantastic, really. So yes, like I said, myself and Jason will be going live tomorrow evening, previewing double game week 24. Be very interested to hear Jason's thoughts on what specifically he thinks will happen in the games between, like we've already mentioned, Wolves, Liverpool and West Ham, Liverpool. I'll be certainly interested to hear what he thinks on those results. Other than that, I just want to say thanks everybody for joining in on this Sunday surgery with myself, Steve-O. It's been a lot of fun. Once again, thanks to Lewis and Charlie for joining me. Yeah, other than that, if you've enjoyed the streams, the usual admin right now, the usual admin, if you enjoyed the stream on your way out, just simply hit the like button. If you are brand new around here, if you enjoyed the streams over the last few days that myself and Jason have done and you haven't subscribed, we are pretty much, here we go, Mr. Reed, a daily streaming service. So just simply hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Elite FPL, usually where we post all our funny videos from clips from the streams and everything like that, like you saw earlier on. In fact, let's leave you with let's leave you with Jason's wonderful reaction. It's class. As Charlie always says, it's class.
Finish it. It's a goal. And it is. It's a goal.
Here we go. Let's just remind everybody. Finally, this is the moment Salah scored. I have no idea if the sound is coming through. I'd like to think it, of course. That's when been working all night, and the second I want it to work, it doesn't. It's typical. I think that's a sign from. Oh, here we are.
Fantastic! And Alice was the assist, I think, weren't it? Oh, wait a minute. I've got steering him. He's done a Danny Ings and taken his shirt off. What an idiot.
So that's a goal bonus point, shirt off, yellow card, minus point.
Comedy gold.
I don't think it's offside. I think
That's
it was in his own
why
half anyway.
doing Elite FPL live streams is so much fun.
Yeah, this should be.
For moments like that. Absolutely superb. Other than that, we'll see you tomorrow evening. I have no idea what time we're going live. I'm going to assume it's going to be about 8 o'clock-ish. But again, stay tuned on Twitter and Instagram at Elite FPL for that. Cheers, guys, and we will see you tomorrow evening.